beloved soul. If you're hearing this, the angels led you here for a reason. This message holds sacred guidance meant specifically for you at this moment. Before we begin, do something important for me. If you feel the angels speaking to your heart today, click subscribe, because heaven has more messages coming your way. Your journey matters here. If this resonates, tap like. It tells the universe you're open to these blessings. Now leave a comment below. What divine sign brought you here today? Your words create miracles for others finding this path. If this message lifts your spirit, consider sending super thanks. Your support helps us bring more light to souls who need it. Now breathe deeply and let the angels deliver their life-changing message. They feel the pull, but they can't name the source. They're restless, uneasy in the places that once felt like home. Not because something is wrong, but because something is right. Something is shifting inside them, around them, through them, and the shift has your name on it. They're packing up more than furniture. They're packing up false comfort. They're letting go of old patterns. They're stepping out of cycles that used to keep them stuck. It's not just a move. It's a surrender to the next chapter, to divine instruction, to the invisible pull of God's voice. Speaking through circumstances they don't even fully understand. They are moving closer without even realizing how close they already are. The reason they've been checking real estate sites, scrolling late at night, pacing their floor, trying to make sense of what doesn't add up, it's because heaven is reordering their path. And peace, true peace, is winning the argument against their logic. It doesn't have to make sense. To them, it just has to make obedience feel heavier than hesitation. And that's where they are now. They can't explain why one particular city feels sacred, why one street feels like a memory, even though they've never walked it. Why one zip code won't leave their spirit alone, but you know why. Your spirit knows why. Because it's yours. And heaven is creating proximity before it introduces identity. They will find themselves standing in neighborhoods that echo with your name. They'll walk into grocery stores that you also visit. On days you never expected to, they'll pass a cafe window seconds after you've walked away. Divine nearness. So subtle, but so certain. Because the same God who made rivers split, who raised dry bones, who stilled storms, is guiding their steps toward you. And he's not late. There are even people around them who sense the shift, but don't have the words for it. Co-workers asking, why the sudden interest in relocating? Friends saying, you seem distracted lately. Family wondering, what are you really chasing? And the truth is, they're chasing peace. They're chasing purpose. They're chasing you, even if they don't know that yet. Because when God calls a heart, it can't stay comfortable. When he calls a soul, he creates divine discontent in places that used to feel secure. That's why nothing feels quite right anymore. That's why they keep searching even when everything on paper says stay. Because obedience is outweighing logic, and their spirit is finally catching up to what heaven has whispered for months, maybe years. The job offer, that's the disguise. The city, that's the canvas. But the real masterpiece is the moment. Their feet and your path collide. Even now, you're being stirred to get your house in order. You're being prompted to clean, to clear, to create space. Why? Because heaven knows the visitor that's coming. And it's not just a visitor, it's a partner, a prayer in human form, a future in motion. The angelic realm has seen it, and they're moving faster now. Unseen doors are swinging open. Emails are being answered. Lease terms are shifting. Jobs are being rerouted. All because one person said, "Yes, Lord, I'll go." And that one, yes, is moving mountains for you. That dream you had, the one where someone was walking toward you, but their face was blurry, that wasn't a dream. That was prophecy. And the blur is fading now, because timing is starting to align with promise. So prepare, don't just wait, prepare. There's a difference. Waiting feels passive. Preparation feels prophetic, and you are in a prophetic moment. Buy the thing for your home. Make the room ready. Revisit the wardrobe you packed away, thinking, "I'll wear this when I meet someone." Because you are meeting someone. And heaven has already booked their trip. Their soul is being rerouted, and their GPS is calibrated by grace. You're not waiting alone. You're waiting with alignment. You're standing in a holy pause while your destiny walks toward you, one obedience at a time. So let your spirit breathe. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not imagining this. They are coming, and when they arrive, they'll say, "I don't know why I came here, but now I do." And you'll know too, because love written by God doesn't need rehearsals. It just needs readiness. Isaiah 30:21 says, "And your ears shall hear a word behind you saying, 'This is the way, walk in it.'" That's the whisper they're hearing now, and it's pointing in your direction. So declare this today. God is guiding them to me. I will be ready. Tap like if you feel this movement in your spirit. Comment the word alignment to anchor your faith, and send a super thanks if you feel led to water this seed. You've been seen in the spirit, and that vision is becoming reality. You might not see them yet, but heaven does. They're driving through unfamiliar streets, not knowing the area they're visiting will soon be called home. They're searching for peace, and your spirit carries it. They've looked into apartments, toured neighborhoods, even asked friends if it's wise to move. Some said no, but something inside says yes, and that yes is the whisper of God. Because God is not just calling you together in heart. He's aligning your locations. He's removing the miles and building a bridge made of obedience. The relocation isn't random. It's revelation in motion, and the signs are everywhere. Not dramatic, not loud, but quiet confirmations. Only the Spirit can recognize. They saw someone who looked like you. They heard your name in a stranger's mouth. They felt goosebumps when walking past a cafe they've never seen before, but somehow felt drawn to. These signs are not for fear, they're for faith, because even when they don't know who you are, their spirit is already responding to your presence. That's how heaven works. It prepares hearts before it reveals faces. And right now, God is moving pieces that no one else sees. They had no intention of leaving where they were. They were settled, comfortable, rooted, but God disturbed the nest. Because comfort was no longer their assignment, you were. It's the same way Abraham was told to move. In Genesis 12:1, the Lord said, "Go from your country, your people and your father's household to the land I will show you." That kind of faith is uncomfortable, but powerful, and that's the kind of faith your future spouse is walking in right now. Even if they can't name it yet, they just know something is telling them to go. and every mile they move is one step closer to you. But listen, while they are moving physically, you are being asked to move spiritually. This is your time to prepare your spirit to receive them, because they're not just bringing romance. They're bringing a story, a past, a future that was written with your name in it. So open your eyes, pay attention, because while you're watching this, someone is packing boxes. Someone is turning down an offer because something in their heart said, "This isn't where I'm supposed to be." That's what love led by God looks like. It makes no sense until everything aligns, and when you meet them, you'll feel it. Not just butterflies, but a holy stillness, a divine finally. And when you ask them, "What brought you here?" they'll probably say, "I'm not sure. Something just told me to come." That something was heaven, that something was the angel assigned to bring them to your side. Don't be discouraged by silence. Don't mistake distance for delay. God is always moving, even when you feel still. And this move is bigger than you think. They had to outgrow what used to fit. They had to leave behind what they thought was home. Not because it was bad, but because it was too small for the next thing God was doing. Sometimes God breaks the routine to get your heart in position, and that's what He did for them. They're not just coming for you, they're coming because of you, because of what God has placed on your life, because of what your union will release, and something in their soul knows it, even if they don't yet have the words. They've been driving unfamiliar roads, feeling a familiar pull. They've been walking in new cities, sensing your spirit in the atmosphere. It's not fantasy. It's faith. And it's real. Their timeline is changing. Their calendar is shifting. Old plans are being erased without explanation. Why? Because God is editing their steps to match your arrival. He's writing a love story that starts with a move and ends with a miracle. And maybe today they're holding a pen over a lease, or reading over a contract, or browsing flights. They don't know they'll take yet, but something is drawing them, softly, surely, undeniably. And the reason is you. You've prayed for love, and now love is being given directions, and not just physical directions. Spiritual ones, sacred ones, eternal ones. Well, they're not just relocating homes, they're relocating purpose. They're stepping into territory where their spirit will thrive, and their love will bloom. And it starts with one yes. One yes to God's nudge. One yes to leaving the familiar. One yes to moving into mystery. And heaven is smiling because obedience is louder than understanding. When you meet them, you'll hear it in their voice. You'll see it in their eyes. You'll feel it in the way their presence carries peace instead of pressure. They'll tell you, "I don't know why I felt pulled here, but now I do." And you'll nod because your spirit will already know. So, prepare. This isn't false hope. This is divine reality. Unfolding, you are being positioned. They are being redirected. And the collision course has already begun. Heaven is a step ahead, and love is catching up. Isaiah 55:12 says, "You will go out in joy and be led forth in peace." They are being led by peace. That peace is you. So don't lose heart. Don't give in to impatience. Don't surrender your hope, because the moving truck might already be loaded. The route may already be mapped. And the first conversation might happen sooner than you think. Trust what you feel, even if you can't explain it. Because the divine doesn't need permission to start rearranging everything for your good. They're starting to feel like they've outgrown their current surroundings. The people they used to feel close to suddenly feel distant. The places that once brought comfort now feel unfamiliar. This is not a breakdown, it's a divine push. Because when God is ready to shift someone's life, He will first remove their attachment to what is no longer aligned. That's what's happening to your future spouse. They don't feel at home anymore because home is moving, and home is closer to you. This is not a movie script. This is the quiet, precise choreography of heaven. They're not running away. They're being drawn forward. And where God is leading them has your spirit in it. They're not praying for love the way you are, but they're praying for peace. They're asking for purpose. They're asking for something real. And God, in His mercy, is answering both of you at the same time. One through revelation, the other through relocation. They may not realize it yet, but their yes to this next chapter is their yes to you. This is why you've been feeling an urgency. This is why your soul's been stretching, even if your calendar hasn't changed. You're sensing the weight of a union that's being written in heaven and walking into your reality. There are no delays in the kingdom, only preparation. And even now, heaven is making sure that when your paths cross, you'll both be able to handle the blessing, because this isn't going to be a half love. This won't be fragile or forced. This is going to be a love that carries legacy, that speaks healing, that feels like home because it was always meant to. They'll say things like, I never thought I'd leave that city. I didn't know why I felt pulled here, but now I do. Because when they meet you, the confusion will clear, the fog will lift, the journey will make sense. In Romans 8:28, the word promises, and we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are the called according to His purpose. This move is one of those all things. It might have looked like a career decision. It might have felt like a random opportunity. But behind the scenes, it was always about divine partnership. Heaven knew you'd be where you are. And so, heaven moved them to meet you in the right place at the right time. And if you think this is too good to be true, you've underestimated how much God cares about your heart, about your prayers, about your wholeness. This isn't fantasy, it's faith unfolding. So take this time seriously. Clean out the old, make room for new rhythms, because they're not just coming into your life, they're building a life near you. This is why God said no to the last connection. This is why He didn't allow you to settle, because what's coming is worth the wait, and it's already on the way. Right now, your name is being drawn closer to someone who was once far. Their heart is moving. Their location is shifting. Their spirit is obeying, not for attention, not for applause, but for alignment with you. They've started packing without knowing why. They've begun deleting old contacts and saying quiet goodbyes. They're letting go of the places that once defined them because their spirit knows it's time to become someone new, someone ready, someone whole, someone aligned with your future. And even when they second guess the change, even when fear tries to argue with faith, something greater holds them steady. That something is God. He's the one shifting timelines. He's the one connecting hearts. He's the one whispering, move forward. You're about to meet purpose in a person. And you felt it too. Even if you didn't know how to name it. That sudden urgency to clean your space. That odd craving to walk the street you don't usually take. That new sense of peace at certain hours of the day. It's not coincidence. It's confirmation. The moment is near, and heaven wants you ready. They're not just moving homes, they're moving timelines. Prophetic alignment is folding space and drawing them to you, and when they arrive, you'll recognize each other, not by appearance, but by atmosphere. Their peace will match your prayers. Their pace will match your purpose. You won't have to convince them or prove your value. They'll already know, because heaven made the introduction long before you spoke. So breathe. Don't rush it. Don't panic. God isn't late. He's precise. And what he's doing now will speak louder in the end than any timeline you imagined. When you hear their voice, you'll recognize the echo. When you hold their hand, you'll feel your roots finally take form, because this love was grown in heaven before it was planted on earth. And now, it's sprouting. It's blooming. It's reaching toward you. So if your spirit's been restless, if your nights have felt heavier, if your tears have come without words, it's because you're catching the signal. The love that was promised is on the move. Don't shrink now. Don't go numb. Don't lose hope right before the shift, because they're not far. Not anymore. And when they show up, with stories of why they left everything behind, you'll hear it in their tone. They left for love. They hadn't met yet. And that love is you. Say yes to the preparation. Yes to the pruning. Yes to the holy rearranging that doesn't make sense yet, because when they walk in, you'll thank God for every delay, every no, every lonely night, every redirection. It wasn't rejection. It was relocation. You are not waiting alone. You are being watched over, prepared, positioned, and so are they. Let this word settle. And if you feel it stirring something deep, tap like to seal this truth. Type I'm aligned in the comments to agree with heaven's move. They don't know it yet. But the moment they arrive, something in their soul will breathe deeper. The air will feel different. The sky will seem clearer. Even the silence will sound like peace, because the place they're stepping into was always meant to hold the next chapter of their story, of your story. It's not just a relocation. It's a holy appointment, a crossing of lives that were always meant to meet right here, right now. The old doors closed not to hurt them, but to push them forward, because the old address no longer matched the new calling. Their spirit outgrew the atmosphere, and heaven took notice. So the shift came, sudden, swift, sacred, and even though it felt like loss, it was love in disguise, love that was preparing a meeting only God could orchestrate. They are being drawn to the land of promise, to a place where their purpose will be met with yours. This is why it couldn't work out before. This is why every detour was secretly a direction, because when they arrive, it will feel like home for both of you. Not the walls, not the lights, but the presence, yours. So let this be your confirmation. You are not preparing for nothing. You are not waiting in vain. The kingdom is moving. Your name is in motion, and their feet are following grace right into your path. They've started dreaming different, waking up with a feeling they can't name. They're looking at old routines and realizing they no longer fit. That's because they're being sized for something greater, something new, something holy. The furniture doesn't feel like theirs anymore. The city lights don't comfort like they used to. Even the sounds of their current life feel too loud, too dull, too distant. It's not depression. It's transition. the kind that heaven initiates before love reveals itself. They are in the hallway between what was and what is about to be, and at the other end of that hallway is you. Let that humble you. Let it soften your prayers, because someone is walking away from their former life to meet their future in your presence. And when they show up, they won't bring confusion. They'll bring confirmation. They won't ask you to shrink. They'll ask you to shine. They won't drain your spirit. They'll water it daily, lovingly, prayerfully. They won't just love your body. They'll love your worship. They'll ask about your calling. They'll listen for your vision, because they've been sent to stand beside you not just as a spouse, but as a witness to what God is building through you. This is why it matters where they are planted. This is why their move is more than miles, it's mantle, it's mission, it's multiplication. And right now, God is settling their spirit so they won't fight the change. He's softening their heart to let go of what once felt like home. He's whispering into their ear, you're not leaving something behind, you're walking toward something greater, you. So don't be discouraged by the silence. Don't let time trick you into thinking God forgot. He didn't forget. He's forming. He's fine-tuning. He's freeing. And soon, very soon, the footsteps of obedience will bring them to your door. When they get there, they'll look around and say, I don't know why this place feels so familiar. And heaven will smile. Because it's not the place. It's your presence. Their soul has known you before time began. So stay ready, stay soft, stay aligned. You don't need to chase this. You don't need to force this. Just welcome it. Because while you're folding laundry, while you're grocery shopping, while you're doing the quiet ordinary things that feel too small to matter, God is orchestrating an extraordinary collision of two lives that were designed to carry legacy together. Don't lose heart. Don't curse the process. Don't pray it away. Pray into it. Pray through it, because the promise is already in motion, and the one assigned to you is on their way. They've said goodbye to what used to define them. They've packed light, but they carry destiny, and you carry welcome. You carry peace. You carry the answer to prayers they haven't even spoken yet. Let this word hold you. Let it remind you that heaven never wastes movement. Never misplaces timing, never forgets a soul who waited in obedience. Now, if this resonates, if you feel the stirring, tap like to confirm your agreement. Comment below, my spirit is aligned. Let the heavens know you're ready. They're going to tell their friends, I don't know what's happening to me lately. But heaven does. They'll say, I used to feel so sure about staying. But now, they feel a holy discomfort. A gentle unsettlement that won't let them rest in the places they once called secure. That's how you know God is speaking. Not always with thunder, but with gentle redirection. Their routines aren't fulfilling anymore. The people around them seem quieter. Even their favorite places feel just a little too small for the spirit that's expanding inside them. This is what it looks like when someone is being prepared for divine connection. Their heart is loosening its grip on what no longer aligns, so it can fully hold what's being sent. You've been wondering why you feel the urge to clean, to rearrange, to start fresh. Even when nothing big has happened yet. That's not boredom. That's alignment. That's your soul responding to a nearness it can't name yet. Because the moment they make that move, something in you will feel the shift too. It's all connected. This isn't just their transition, it's yours too. And the closer they get, the more you'll feel the invitation to rise into the version of yourself that was born for this kind of love. The kind of love that's not afraid to start over, that doesn't flinch at history, that sees your scars and still stays. They've been prepared to carry you as much as you've been prepared to carry them. And when they stand in front of you, they won't just see beauty. They'll see promise, fulfillment, God's faithfulness in human form. They'll say, I didn't know what I was searching for until I found you. Because you're not just a person. You're prophecy. You're answered prayer. You're the confirmation they didn't even know they needed. So don't worry. If it feels quiet right now, the shift always starts in silence. The journey always begins with unrest. That unease in their spirit, that restlessness you've been feeling. It's the signal that love is moving, that timing is catching up, that heaven is about to bring what was once only whispered into full view. They won't just arrive at your doorstep. They'll arrive in your life already softened by surrender, already humbled by the journey, already aware that something greater brought them here. And when you open the door, spiritually or physically, you'll feel it. The peace, the stillness, the divine yes that overtakes every doubt. It won't be loud. It won't be forced. It won't need proof. Because your spirit will already know, and theirs will too. They may not come with fireworks, but they'll come with peace. And peace is heaven's way of saying, this is it. So take this season seriously. Get your heart in position, not with panic, but with peace, because the God who guided them out of the old is guiding them into you. And when they arrive, everything will feel new but familiar, different but destined, because it always was. You don't have to force it. You just have to be faithful. Stay in prayer. Stay in position. Stay open. If this spoke to you, if your spirit leaped at these words, don't scroll away silently like this video, so the angels know you've received it. Comment below, my promise is moving closer. That's your declaration. That's your agreement with heaven. They're driving unfamiliar roads right now, turning down streets they've never seen, passing signs they didn't expect, but heaven expected it, because this isn't just a road trip. This is rerouting, this is holy navigation, and the destination is you. Their GPS may say one thing, but their spirit knows another. They think they're going for a job, for a new view, for a fresh start, but they don't know they're walking into a divine appointment, a collision of prayers and promises. This is how God moves, quiet, strategic, precise. He doesn't need to announce it. He just needs obedience, and that's what your future spouse is walking in now, even without full understanding. They're obeying the pull they can't explain. They're following the peace that passes logic, and that peace leads to you. Your prayers didn't bounce off the ceiling. They built a path. They cleared the way. They whispered into the winds that are now pushing someone right toward your life. So keep preparing, not out of desperation, but out of expectation. Set the table. Clean the corners, not just in your home, but in your heart, because they are almost here. And when they come, you'll know. Not because of butterflies, but because of stillness. Not because of sparks, but because of safety. They will carry the sound of someone who has heard from heaven and answered. They will carry the mark of someone who chose surrender over comfort. And you'll carry the peace they've been searching for, the home they didn't know they were heading toward, the stillness that makes everything before you make sense. This is why the shaking had to happen, why things had to fall apart, why some relationships didn't work, why you had to be hidden for a while. Because the one God is sending was never meant to find you through effort, but through alignment. And now, alignment is here. You've been sensing it. The shift, the quiet invitations from heaven, the pull to prepare, the urge to forgive, the call to release old weight. That's not just inner healing, that's inner readiness. Because they're not bringing half love, they're bringing healing. They're bringing honor, they're bringing clarity, and they'll say, I almost didn't move. I almost stayed where I was. But something kept telling me this was the right place. That something was God. Psalm 37:23 says, The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and he delighteth in his way. Their steps have been ordered, planned, positioned, and one of those steps will land right next to you. You won't have to chase this. You won't have to beg for it. You won't have to prove your worth. You'll just have to receive it and recognize it when it arrives. So breathe deeper, pray bolder, and prepare with joy. Not panic, not fear, because what's coming is already being pulled by the hand of God. And while they're packing boxes and updating addresses and following peace into a city they never planned to love, you'll be positioned to greet them with the grace they never knew they needed. They'll look into your eyes and see answers. They'll sit beside you and feel rest. They'll tell their friends, I finally understand why nothing else worked. Out, because it was never supposed to, not until you. So stay steady, keep preparing. The move is already in motion. The bridge is already being built, and the love, it's already heading right to your door. If you believe this word was for you, speak it aloud. My promise is positioning itself for me. Comment it below. Let heaven know you received this in faith. Right now they're rearranging things they used to be sure of. Plans they made years ago suddenly don't feel right anymore. Paths they were confident in now feel incomplete, and they can't explain why. But their spirit knows, because God is pulling them, not just toward purpose, but toward you. They're deleting old messages. They're cleaning up old friendships. They're making emotional space for something they don't even have language for yet. But heaven does. Heaven calls it preparation. Heaven calls it divine alignment. Heaven calls it the answer to prayer. You are that answer. You are that missing piece. You are the one God whispered about while they were in the quiet wrestling with what to leave behind. So, don't fear the delay. Don't panic when it feels silent. Because silence doesn't mean absence, it means alignment. It means God is making sure everything is ready before it touches your life. You prayed for something real. Not rushed, not forced, not copied, not borrowed from someone else's testimony. You asked for a God story, and that's what He's writing right now. Your name is being brought up in conversations you haven't walked into yet. Your spirit is being recognized in moments that seem unrelated. They're walking into rooms that feel oddly familiar because your prayers have already entered them. They've felt the shift. They've noticed the stirring. They've looked up, and wondered why the sky felt different that day. It's you. It's the weight of what's to come. It's the fragrance of destiny carried by the wind of intercession. They've begun dreaming again. Not just about jobs, not just about traveling, but about family, about purpose, about covenant. They don't know why they suddenly crave stillness, why rest seems more appealing than recognition. But God knows. He's been softening their heart. He's been rewiring their desires. He's been pruning the distractions, all so they can carry you. They've seen what love isn't, and now they're ready to be taught what love is. They've lived through loneliness, even in the crowd, and now they want connection that feels like coming home. You are not the second option. You are not the rebound. You are not what they settled for. You are the fulfillment of a spiritual promise, a prayer they don't even remember praying, a hope they thought was too holy to say out loud. You've felt the shift too, haven't you? You've been cleaning what you don't even use. You've been walking past your reflection and wondering, why do I feel like something's about to change? Because it is. Because they are coming. Not perfect, but positioned, not finished, but faithful. Not everything you imagined, but more than you could have planned. They'll bring laughter, peace, protection, prayer. They'll notice what others missed. They'll cherish what others took for granted. They'll hold your hand, like it was heaven formed, because it was. Their journey hasn't been easy, yours hasn't either, but heaven doesn't waste tears or time. Every mile they traveled away only made the moment they meet you even more sacred. And when you stand face to face, you'll both know this is what the waiting was for. So stay ready, stay present, stay surrendered, because heaven is closing the distance. Because their yes to God is becoming a yes to you. Jeremiah 29:11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a future and a hope." This love is part of that future. This union is wrapped in that hope. And what's next is more than you imagined, but exactly what you were made for. If this spoke to your heart, don't keep it quiet. Comment below. My divine alignment is unfolding. Click like if you feel heaven confirming this in your spirit. Right now, they're standing in front of doors they never thought they'd walk through. And with each step, something in their heart whispers, "You're getting closer." They don't know what that means yet. But heaven does. It means you. It means the encounter that shifts everything. The moment they meet a familiar soul in an unfamiliar place, the divine interruption that doesn't feel like chaos. It feels like clarity. Because when God brings two people together for His purpose, nothing feels forced. Nothing feels fake. It's real. And it's undeniable. They'll be drawn to your spirit before they notice your face. They'll hear your voice, and something inside them will settle. Their past will lose its power. Their pain will lose its grip. Because love like this heals what history couldn't. Not because you're the answer to all their wounds, but because God wrote this connection to honor the healing you've both fought for. This is what divine alignment feels like. Not loud, not rushed, but peaceful. Like a home you didn't know you were building. Until you see someone standing in front of it with a key only heaven could have given them. They don't even know that their quiet obedience is answering your boldest prayers, that their yes is setting in motion a love story that only God could write. And maybe you're wondering, how will I know it's them? You'll know, because your spirit will recognize what your eyes have never seen. You won't have to guess. You won't have to force. You won't have to chase. You'll just know. It will feel like timing finally telling the truth, like peace slipping into your chest and whispering, "Now it makes sense." And even the hard parts, the awkward first conversations, the nervous pauses, they'll carry grace, because this connection isn't here to impress. It's here to stay. God didn't bring you this far to tease you with almost. He's too faithful for that, too intentional, too committed to your wholeness. Every time you thought he was saying no, he was actually saying, "Not yet, because I love you too much to give you something unfinished." And now, he's finishing the final touches. He's clearing the last few obstacles. He's softening hearts so that when your eyes meet, there won't be resistance, only remembrance. Remembrance of the promise, remembrance of the prayers, remembrance of the feeling you couldn't shake, even when you tried, because this love was never meant to be shaken. It was meant to be sure. You're going to see how God connects dots you didn't even know were in the picture. You're going to hear someone say, "I was supposed to be somewhere else today, but something told me to come here." And that something was divine setup. You'll both feel it, the confirmation, the alignment, the exhale of finally, not because it'll be perfect, but because it'll be real and covered and appointed. So don't second guess your spirit. That urgency you feel, that stirring in your chest, it's not anxiety, it's expectation. It's heaven waking up your heart for what's already walking toward you. If you've been asking, "God, is this really for me?" this is your answer. Yes. Not because you earned it, not because you're flawless, but because God is good. And He's a keeper of promises. Ecclesiastes 3:11 says, "He has made everything beautiful in its time. This love will be beautiful, and the time. It's almost here. You are not late. You are not overlooked. You are not forgotten. You are right on time for something sacred. And they are too, even if they're still on the way, even if they haven't seen your face, even if they don't yet understand why they're suddenly craving a new beginning. You are the reason. You are the answer they didn't even know they were asking for. So, rest. But stay expectant. Prepare your heart, like someone is already packing for you, because in the spirit, they are. If this touched something deep in you, don't scroll past it. Type in the comments, "I receive this divine preparation." Click. Like if you feel your heart say yes to this truth. Make sure you subscribe so you never miss when heaven speaks again. And if you feel led, send a super thanks to help this message reach others still waiting to know their love is real and it's near.